This is my friend Robert. For 6 months, he tried to lose fat, all to impress his crush, Maria. He even joined a local gym and hired a personal trainer. The trainer asked his height and weight, then gave him a workout and diet plan. Robert trained hard, followed every instruction, and never skipped a day. But in the end, he got no results, just frustration. He started doubting his trainer. So he brought the plan to me. When I analyzed it, I was shocked. The plan was complete nonsense. I asked, "Who gave you this?" He said, "Michael." And then I realized. Michael was Maria's boyfriend. I remembered seeing them together at the cafe a few months ago, laughing like best friends. It all made sense. He already knew Robert's plan and made sure he'd never succeed. Some people really play dirty, even in the gym. After what happened, Robert was shattered. He felt betrayed, fooled, and humiliated. He came to me, eyes full of anger and pain, and said, "I want revenge. Help me." And honestly, I was furious too. Michael didn't just play with his feelings, he messed with his confidence. So I told him, "All right, Robert, let's destroy him the right way." All right, I started by analyzing Robert's stats. He weighed 85 kilograms and wanted to lose fat while building muscle. So first, I calculated his maintenance calories. First, I converted his body weight into pounds. That's 85 times 2.2 equals 187. Then multiplied it by 14 to find maintenance calories. 187 times 14 equals 2,618 calories. To lose fat, he needed a caloric deficit. So I cut down 500 calories from that. His target was about 2,100 calories per day. We convert kilograms to pounds because most traditional calorie estimation formulas like Harris-Benedict, Catch-McArdle, or quick multipliers were originally based on data from the US, where body weight is measured in pounds. The multiplier 14, or sometimes 15 or 16, is a rough estimate of your total daily energy expenditure, how many calories you burn per day, including activity. Now, for protein. A normal person without any weight or any form of physical activity should take 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. To build muscle, we should add more protein. So I multiplied his body weight in kilograms by 2. That's 170 grams of protein daily. Since 1 gram of protein gives 4 calories, that's about 680 calories from protein. The main source of protein in Robert's diet is chicken breast, egg whites, and whey protein. Then for fats, I told him to take around 30 grams. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, so that's 270 calories from fat. The main source of fat in Robert's diet is oil and nuts. The rest of the calories, around 1,150, came from carbs. The main source of carbs in Robert's diet is rice and wheat bread. Carbs give energy for training, fats balance hormones, and protein build muscle. And I decrease even more calories whenever needed. And last but not least, fibers and multivitamins. It's not just about protein, carbs, and fats. What most people ignore are the small things that make a big difference: vitamins and fiber. You see, when you're in a calorie deficit, your food intake goes down. And that means your body gets less of the essential vitamins and minerals it needs to function at its best. That's where multivitamins come in. They fill the nutritional gaps, supporting your metabolism, immunity, recovery, and energy levels. Without them, you might be training hard, but still feeling tired, sore, and demotivated. And then there's fiber, the unsung hero of every diet. Fiber keeps your digestion smooth, keeps you full longer, and helps control hunger when you're cutting calories. It also stabilizes blood sugar levels and keeps your gut healthy, because a healthy gut means better nutrient absorption, better mood, and better recovery. So I told Robert, don't skip your greens. Add veggies, fruits, and a scoop of fiber powder if needed. Because the real transformation doesn't come from just lifting weights. It comes from fueling your body right inside and out. In summary, if Robert eat 4 meals per day, he should add enough protein, carbs, fat, fibers, and micronutrients in each of his meal. It is said to be the balanced diet. Okay, that's the GEM diet plan. Simple, balanced, and powerful. Let's move on to the workout part. For workouts, I didn't throw him into some random plan like Michael did. I started him with a bro split, so he could learn proper form, tempo, and mind-muscle connection for a month. After that, we switched to a 4-day plan that hit each muscle twice a week. The plan is Monday, chest and triceps, Wednesday, back and biceps, Friday, legs and core, Sunday, upper and lower body light focused. And for cardio, I asked him to do at least 60 minutes thrice a week to help the fat loss. Robert walked into the gym that Monday, broken, frustrated, angry. 6 months of following Michael's plan, wasted. But I saw something in him, fire, a hunger, a will to fight back. He never stopped because he lost the love of Maria and was betrayed by Michael. That pain became his fuel. I told him, every rep, every set, every meal counts. We're here to win, for you. Month 1. Robert struggled with soreness, fatigue, and self-doubt. His muscles burned, his joints ached, and the temptation to skip workouts was strong. But I guided him, perfecting form, teaching proper tempo, and making sure he didn't burn out. By the end of the month, he could lift more than he thought possible, and he felt alive again. Month 2. Cutting calories hit hard. The snacks, the comfort foods, the easy meals, they called his name every day. I adjusted his plan, reduced carbs slightly, increased protein to keep him full, and ensured his energy stayed high. His weight started to drop, his body tightened, and confidence slowly returned. Every small victory motivated him to push harder. Month 3. Progress slowed. Some lifts stalled. Fat loss seemed to pause. I changed his progressive overload, adding reps, sets, or weight depending on how he felt. I monitored protein and carb intake carefully. Robert pushed through frustration and learned patience, consistency, and mental toughness. Month 4. Workouts got heavier, muscles more defined. Fatigue tested him daily. I kept tweaking his diet, adding protein when recovery lagged, reducing carbs when fat loss plateaued. Every adjustment made him stronger, faster, sharper. Month 5. 76 kilos. Lean, strong, energized. He looked in the mirror and saw the man Michael tried to break, someone unstoppable. Every struggle, every drop of sweat, every adjustment I made, it all became strength. The stage was set. The revenge was ready to begin. Michael had been out of town for months. Robert finally found out he'd moved to New York. So me and Robert went there. One cold evening, Robert found him in a small cafe near 7th Avenue. Michael was laughing with friends, the same fake charm, the same arrogance. Robert walked in. The bell on the cafe door rang, and the laughter stopped. Michael looked up, shocked. "Robert? You followed me all the way here?" Robert nodded slowly. "I had to. I needed to see the man who tried to destroy me." The cafe went silent, only the sound of a spoon stirring coffee. Robert took a deep breath. "If you had just told me that you loved Maria, I would have walked away. I really would have. But instead, you chose lies, humiliation, and betrayal. Why you wasted my 6 months of time and energy in the gym? Why did you do that?" Michael looked away, his voice breaking. I didn't want to lose to you, man. You always got the spotlight." Robert's eyes softened for the first time in years. "You didn't just make me fail, Michael. You made me hate myself. But you also made me stronger." He leaned forward, calm, controlled. Don't ever do this to anyone again, because not everyone you break stays broken." Michael stayed silent, guilt written all over his face. Robert stood up, dropped a few dollars on the table, and said, "You trained me to fail, but I trained myself to rise." As he walked out, the bell rang again, this time softer. Outside, the city lights reflected off the wet pavement. Maria stood across the street. She'd heard everything. Robert froze for a moment. She walked toward him, slowly, eyes filled with regret. "Robert, I'm sorry," she whispered. He smiled faintly. "Don't be. You taught me the hardest truth. Sometimes love isn't about holding on, it's about letting go." Maria's eyes filled with tears. She nodded, then walked away, one last time. Robert looked up at the New York skyline, breathing deeply. The pain was gone. The anger was gone. All that remained was peace. Because real revenge isn't destroying someone else, it's rebuilding yourself. And to everyone watching, remember this. No matter who betrayed you, no matter who doubted you, you can rise again. You just have to start right now.